give a warm welcome to Julien Simon.
So happy to get a chance to talk to all of you.
Oh, thank you so much, Simon. It's so glad we are so glad to have you here, and yeah, the stage is all yours.
All right. Well, let me share my screen and we can get started then. All right, here we go. So we have a short session. So I'll get straight to the point. So as we all know, my name is Julien. I'm Chief Evangelist for a company called Hugging Face, which you may have heard of. So what do we do? So Hugging Face is a startup. We work with machine learning, and we're trying to democratize and make machine learning as accessible and simple and straightforward as we can. We always need experts and data scientists and machine learning PhDs for sure, but we also need lots of developers and even business folks to join the machine learning party. So that's what we're trying to build. Hugging Face was born in 2016, and right after that, something really big happened in machine learning. And of course, I mean the rise of transformer models. And I'm sure you've all heard of Google BERT, which was the first widely known transformer model, and it was launched for NLP tasks and broke all kinds of NLP benchmarks. And I think that got everybody's attention. And since then, the transformer architecture has proven to be super efficient, not only for NLP, but also for a wide range of machine learning problems, from computer vision to audio and speech, and even tabular data now, or reinforcement learning are being handled with transformer models. So just to show you the breadth and depth of transformers, what we see here is the Hugging Face Hub, which is our main website at huggingface.co. And as you can see, we host over 62,000 models, which is a pretty large number. It keeps growing every day. And we have models for a whole bunch of different tasks, obviously for NLP and for computer vision and for audio and for other things. And we keep expanding. So those models come from the community, from organizations and companies. As you can see, we have models from Microsoft and Google and Meta and many organizations, research labs, etc., etc. And let's just grab one of those models here. And well, how difficult is it for you to work with those models? Well, it's actually very simple, because you can very simply use our open source libraries, right? Which obviously are hosted on GitHub, and they're the Transformers library, which lets you download and predict and work with transformer models, is literally one of the most popular projects in open source history, rising in popularity faster than amazing projects like PyTorch or Keras, or even non-machine learning projects like Kubernetes, if you can believe that. And so with just a couple of lines of code, you can grab a model and predict with it. And we provide you with those code snippets. You can also test the models right on the model page if you want a quick taste. We call this the inference widget. And this is a very simple way to evaluate models very quickly. And we provide a detailed description of what those models are, how to use them, and what data they've been trained on, and potential limitations, training procedure, training metrics, etc., etc. And so by simply browsing those models, using the tags, the task tags, or the language tags, because as you can see, those models have been trained for quite a few languages out there, you can very quickly narrow down the list of models that you should be looking at. So for example, let's say I'm interested in, let's say, summarization, in, let's go back to the tag list, summarization in French, maybe. Well, I can just click on that and I get the 12 models that I should be looking at. So super simple. Grab those pre-trained models, get to work very quickly, And we also have thousands and thousands of data sets that you can start using, maybe for your proof of concepts or maybe for production. And likewise, you can just grab those data sets in minutes, or I should say in seconds, with just a couple of lines of code and pull them in, right? So the combination of those thousands of models and thousands of data sets makes it very, very easy to get started and I would say experiment with the problem you're trying to solve and build a POC very quickly, right? And speaking of which, of course, if you're a data scientist or a machine learning engineer, you're well versed in working with Jupyter notebooks and Python and other machine learning tools. But if you show that stuff, if you demo that stuff to business stakeholders, that's not really going to fly, right? Of course, they're smart people. They will kind of understand what you're trying to do, but what they want to see is how a model works within an actual application. Where does it fit in the workflow? What's the user interface like? What the user experience is like? And Jupyter notebooks don't really do that. So that's why we've built this product called Spaces. And if you've been playing with DALL-E Mini in the last few weeks, that's certainly what you've been using. And Spaces is really just a simple way to build machine learning applications and host them on Hugging Face using simple web frameworks. You can use Gradio or Streamlit. Gradio is actually part of Hugging Face now. And you can write just a few lines of very simple code and display your model in an application that looks like a real application. And obviously, that's much friendlier to non-technical folks. So let's look at an example, maybe really quick. This is a space that I built a little while ago, and this one runs voice queries on financial documents. Okay, so I can ask questions, so to speak, and get insights on a corpus built from 2020 annual filings for S&P 500 companies. Okay, and that sounds like a complicated thing to do, but in fact, I just used a couple of models off the shelf from the Hugging Face Hub. I didn't even train anything. I just grabbed those models, and I used a model for semantic search and another model for speech to text, right? And that speech to text model also includes translation. Okay, so let's give it a quick try. Notre compagnie est sous le coup d'une enquête fiscale. Okay, so that's my query. I'm going to submit it. And obviously, it's going to be translated to English. It's going to be converted to text. And I'm going to use my semantic search model to run the query. Okay, just like that. So how many lines of code is this? Okay, start guessing. It's a grand total of 113 lines, with a good third of that being the user interface. Okay, so that's the kind of speed and agility that you can build with Hugging Face, working with off-the-shelf models, off-the-shelf data sets, and very agile tools like Spaces. And so in no time, you can start building something that solves a business problem, and you can keep iterating. And that's really what we're all about. Okay, so if you're interested, there's only one place to go, huggingface.co. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you so much, Julien. It was such an incredible talk. We've all used Hugging Face at one point or another, and we are really glad to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you.